It's now my honor to introduce Ricky Waite. Ricky was selected by his class to be the commencement speaker, his senior class speaker. Ricky is an artist, he's an athlete, he is a student leader, and he's off to the University of Chicago in the fall. Ricky.
Good evening to all the classmates that I've spent the last 4 years of my life with, the teachers that have fostered our knowledge, the staff who has kept the system running, the board that has fought for a premier learning environment, the bishop who has guided the faith community, the parents who have offered their utmost support, the siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents who have cheered on at sporting events and art shows, and the family friends who have been there since the beginning of it all. Before I begin this speech, my classmates so generously nominated me to write. I want to give all of my thanks to every person I just mentioned. All of your roles have worked to get us all to this point. And on my behalf, thank you. Now, let me start at the beginning. 8th grade preview day. I grabbed my Newman swag bag off the table labeled small, opening it to find a red Newman t-shirt with "Our School United" written on the front. Inside these bags, we were also met with swell bottles, socks, rags, and a lanyard. Putting the lanyard around my neck, I began to picture what my next 4 years at Newman would look like. I saw independence, opportunity, growth, and fun. It was exciting to see my hopes for high school begin to unfold with a snapshot that I was given on preview day. I hoped for days that would stick with me like a high school musical scene, and connections that would last a lifetime. Freshman orientation. It was all starting to become real. The introductory activities that ASB had us do forced me to interact with people I would have normally been intimidated by. One member of ASB walked me through the steps to open my locker for a good 15 minutes, and praise God for her patience, because I would have never been able to get that thing open again. As I left after my first day, I still didn't feel quite like a high schooler, and I hadn't experienced any high school musical type interactions quite yet. Freshman welcome dance. It was Hawaiian themed. I got ready with my St. Rose friends, layering my dad's Hawaiian button-up over my white tee. This night solidified that we were indeed now in high school. I'll just say that the dancing occurring in the ACC was nothing like the Leave Room for Jesus waltz that I was used to at St. Rose. We all began adjusting. Fast forward to sophomore year homecoming. I wore a white button-up, black striped pants, and my brand new Air Force Ones. The Under the Sea theme carried throughout the night as we got down to Kodak, Nikki, and of course, Miley's Party in the USA. Our change from freshman to sophomore year was substantial. We'd grown to become much more comfortable on a high school dance floor, especially when compared to the awkwardness I'm sure we all saw the night of the freshman welcome dance. March 2020, the end of our sophomore year. I comfortably logged into DeBen's Algebra 2 class from my bed, sitting upright whenever a thumbs up was requested. This routine continued for me until the end of our junior year. You would think that a pandemic would knock us down on top of already dealing with routine wildfires. However, we persisted. I know it's cliche to talk about how strong we are to have made it through a worldwide pandemic, but seriously, look at every bit of bad luck my class got handed, and look at how we came out at the end. Junior year was a bit of a blur for us all, but we picked up right where we left off for our senior year. September 22nd, 2021. McGuire's and my cutting of the ribbon on Newman's new stage signified some sort of poetic justice for our class. Justice for having every first day of the school year take place in a portable. Justice for not having the high school experience we, as a class, deserved. As we each broke off into our first classes in the new buildings, hope was restored, and our faith became insurmountable. Our final homecoming. Walking into the pit of students, the glare of the disco ball, mirrored with the streaks of colored light, evoked the spirit of Newman. Seeing Reese and Donovan take to the stage to Soulja Boy, and Ari's elaborate homecoming crown reflecting off the neon lights illustrated one of the scenes I envisioned when walking around campus way back on preview day. Spring dance show. Beads of sweat ran down my forehead as I begged prayer to flip over Lily's laying body. The roars of the crowd mixed with the intense music invigorated Lily's and my performance, making that night one we'll remember forever. Senior prom. As we walked into the gym to sign ourselves in, I saw the people I had grown with for the past 4 years. We dressed to impress and brought that same energy to the boat's dance floor. Which brings us to today, our high school graduation. As I stand here in front of you all, reminiscing over high school memories through my perspective, I want to touch on how we've tethered ourselves through the years. I think we all felt that as freshmen, there was an odd animosity that lingered between us. We could never get a rally cheer down to save our lives, and were never seen, for some reason, as the most unified class. Standing here today, I can confidently say that we've proved that perception wrong. We are leaving Newman as a united front, though not perfect. We defied what we even believed was impossible to prevail, and I'm proud of that. 1 year from now, we will have finished our first year of college, first year on the job, or first year serving in the military. Dante will be preparing for his summer internship at Google. Megan will be studying for her finals at UCLA, go quarter system. And Jenna will be writing musical works of art. 5 years from now, Eternity will be finished with her first year in med school. Colby will have just purchased her first prep book for the bar. And Abigail will be advocating for sustainable environmental policy in Scotland and beyond. 20 years from now, Sydney will be traveling around Europe with the Women's Tennis Association. McGuire will be president. Leah will be on the cover of Forbes. And Aiden will still be yelling, "Horns!" It's sad to know that I will no longer be taking the same route to school that I've driven for 13 years, ever since my first day of kindergarten over at St. Rose. However, I'm happy to be ending this journey so hopeful. In closing, I want to remind us all of our place in this world, and how it is now our time to use what we've garnered for the however many years of our lives to instill goodness. We will be the ones to pass life-changing legislation, to advocate for those unheard, and to see people for their true selves. Though my experience didn't always necessarily live up to what High School Musical had me expecting, I much appreciate what Newman provided me with: an academic and religious foundation, a strong, tight-knit community, and a formative 4 years. Even though there are no longer lockers for me to assist underclassmen with, Cardinal Newman showed me that I would have been that person to help unlock timid freshman me's locker. Thank you.